माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, आज तक मैं पश्चिम बंगाल सरकार से एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ। यह जो अभी केंद्र स्तर पर कानून आ रहा है, वो पहले राज्य स्तर पर लाया गया। महाराष्ट्र में 98-99 में भाजपा शिवसेना सरकार थी, तब महाराष्ट्र में ये कानून आया। उसके पश्चात गुजरात में आया, तमिलनाडु में लाया गया, लेकिन पश्चिम बंगाल सरकार ने 2015 तक राज्य सरकार कानून नहीं लाया था। अब जाके केंद्र सरकार ला रही है, तो शारदा चिट फंड को बचाने के लिए ये विरोध हो रहा है। मैं आपको कहना चाहूंगा, आज तक कितनी कंपनियों ने शारदा चिट फंड, रोज वैली, सहारा, फॉलो, गोल्डन फॉरेस्ट, समृद्ध जीवन, साई प्रसाद, ट्विंकल, मैत्रेयी, केबीसीएल 4 लाख करोड़ रुपया लूटा है। मैं माननीय पीयूष गोयल जी को धन्यवाद देता हूं कि बहुत अच्छा कानून वो लेके आए। अब पूरा सदन इनका समर्थन करते हैं। धन्यवाद।
आनंदराव अडसूल जी, पीछे जाके बोलो।
मैं वित्त मंत्री जी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत ही करता हूँ, धन्यवाद भी देता हूँ। एक बहुत पुरानी मांग थी ये कि जो भी अनरेगुलेटेड डिपॉजिट स्कीम चलती है, जिसके कारण बहुत से गरीब लोग का नुकसान होता है, जो निवृत्त लोग होते हैं, एक अच्छा इंटरेस्ट मिलता है, इसी कारण अपना पैसा वहां रखते हैं, लेकिन वो पैसा वापस मिलने की कोई उम्मीद नहीं होती। ऐसे बहुत से उदाहरण है। बहुत सी जो कंपनियां हैं उसका दिवाला निकल चुका है, और इसलिए बहुत दिनों से हम राह देख रहे थे ये बिल कब आए। दो स्टैंडिंग कमेटी ने भी इनका समर्थन किया है, और मैं भी मेरी पार्टी शिवसेना की तरफ से ये बिल का समर्थन करता हूँ, और फिर एक दफा वित्त मंत्री जी का अभिनंदन करता हूँ।
मोहम्मद कलीम।
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष महोदय जी, मुझे यहाँ से बोलने का इजाजत दिया जाए, क्योंकि जब भी चीट फंड या ये पॉन्जी स्कीम का मामला आता है, कुछ लोग हाइपर एक्टिव हो जाते हैं, और ये हम बंगाल से आए हुए हैं और हमारा अनुभव है। और आज भी आप देखेंगे, चाहे सदन के अंदर हो चाहे सड़क पे हो, खास करके हमारे जो मुख्यमंत्री हैं वो चीट फंड के पैसे से ही मुख्यमंत्री बनी है। और यहाँ ऐसे बहुत से सांसद हैं जिनको जेल में रहना चाहिए था। हजारों लाखों गरीब लोगों का पैसा, चाहे वो विधवा माँ हो, चाहे वो हॉकर हो, चाहे वो किसान हो, उनका पैसा इकट्ठा करके ये लोग हर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी में कुछ करप्ट लोग रहते हैं, लेकिन ये तृणमूल कांग्रेस करप्ट लोगों की पार्टी बनी है, और उसमें कुछ लोगों को जुगाड़ किया गया है। हम पिछले 17 साल से कहते आ रहे हैं, आज पूरे देश को मालूम हो, ये स्कीम को फाइट करने के लिए 2002 में बंगाल के वामफ्रंट सरकार, जब एनडीए की हुकूमत थी, तब ये बिल हम बनाए थे बंगाल में, लेकिन चूंकि तृणमूल कांग्रेस बीजेपी के साथ वाजपेयी जी की सरकार में थी, इसलिए केंद्र सरकार उस बिल में एक्सेस नहीं किए, वरना आज इतने लोगों को पैसा गंवाना नहीं पड़ता। आज हम इस पीयूष गोयल जी का समर्थन करते हैं, धन्यवाद करते हैं, और आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे बैठे हुए लोग हैं, इसमें तृणमूल के आधा दर्जन एमपी को भुवनेश्वर के जेल में रहना चाहिए था, लेकिन राजनीतिक सौदाबाजी करके ये जेल के बाहर आ गए और यहाँ करके भाषण देते हैं। लाखों लोग सीधा पीट करके ममता बनर्जी के घर में पहुंचे कि हमारा पैसा वापस दो। मुख्यमंत्री कही जो किया सो किया, अभी पता चल रहा है वो चीट फंड का पैसा कहाँ गया है। और ये कानून ले करके सिर्फ चीट फंड बैन करने से नहीं होगा, सीबीआई का जांच सुप्रीम कोर्ट से दिया गया था, कोई सौदाबाजी नहीं। जरूरत पड़ेगा इन तृणमूल कांग्रेस के चोरों के मकान नीलाम करके, इनका कपड़ा उतार करके गरीब जनता का पैसा को वापस करना पड़ेगा, ये मांग मैं करता हूँ।
जी वेंकटेश बाबू।
Bill, it is said that multi-state cooperative societies can accept deposits only from its voting members, madam, and cannot accept deposits from non-voting members. In such case, the Repco Bank, which is owned by Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India and southern state governments will not be able to accept deposits from non-voting B-class members, that is the general public, who are in large numbers, Madam, in view of the above, Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu has requested the Finance Minister to make suitable amendments to the above bill by providing an exemption for accepting deposits from non-voting members, Madam, also. The government hold multi-state cooperative societies and act may be amended by including the following class, Madam. Those multi-state cooperative societies in which the central state government hold more than 51% paid up share capital shall continue to accept deposits from non-voting members also, Madam. This above amendment would facilitate the Repco Bank to continue to accept deposits from non-voting members also, Madam. With this amendment, we accept this bill, Madam.
The Balsurari Mehta, please. Yes.
Madam Speaker, this bill has emanated from the Standing Committee of Finance recommendation in its report of 21st, which was titled Efficacy Regulation of Collective Investment Scheme. And that recommendation had suggested there are various gaps in regulating the unregulated deposit scheme. And that is the reason why this bill was made by this government. It was on the recommendation of the Finance Committee that still certain gaps are there and it is necessary that appropriate legislative provision coupled with effective administrative and enforcement measures in order to protect the hard-earned savings and investments made by millions of people is required. And that is the reason why this bill has come into existence. The Finance Committee went in detail on this bill and still I find there are certain lacuna still exist. And first is the definition is not very clear. As Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary just now mentioned, ambiguity still exists. But the major concern which is expressed through this bill is illegal deposit taking activities is a concern, and as larger sections of the income of the population who actually make certain deposits is going everywhere. That is something which is of major concern. Madam Speaker, I would like to draw the attention of the government relating to the provision that this bill makes to return back the deposit that is there, to identify the depositors and return it back. That is the major concern. But it gives adequate or more power to the police force to act against anyone. That is something which is of concern, needs to be corrected. But again, I would like to mention here that when we are saying that this is the best bill, it all depends on the state governments to implement it. Central government cannot implement this provision. It is left to the state government to implement it. And there is necessity that a certain regulatory mechanism should be there where both the union government and respective state government should work together to regulate these unaccounted deposit schemes. Thank you, madam.
Saugat Rai ji, boliye.
Madam, I rise to speak on the banning of unregulated deposit scheme. Madam, I rise to speak on that. I know that the BJP does not want me to speak. Hey, Kullan, already one member from Congress, Adhir Chaudhary, who is a mafia don, has spoken against Mamata Banerjee. Another person from CPM, who won by 1100 votes, he has spoken. But may I, madam, listen to me. Madam,
आपके लोग भी चिल्ला रहे हैं,
madam,
कैसे बोलोगे?
none of the chit funds were started is during Mamata Banerjee's regime. All the chit funds started in 1980 when the left front was in power in West Bengal. When the Sarada scam broke, Mamata Banerjee took the trouble of arresting the main person from Kashmir, and he brought in Sudipto Sen. Her government brought him back from Kashmir. She set up a commission. She set up a commission to return the money to investors. After the CBI has taken it over, yes, not 1 rupee has been returned. Now all these people, CPM men and Congress, who spoke, they linked to Sarada issue, and they lead to Rafale. And I'm asking this government, what were they doing for 5 years? On the last day, they are bringing the bill. Our Finance Standing Committee had a meeting. We gave a report on a meeting held on 2nd January. The committee gave a report, but the government has not agreed to a single recommendation of the report. We had suggested, madam, that the committee, we said, the word any other agency must be added after Central Bureau of Investigation. They have not agreed to that. We suggested that the bill should be changed accordingly. Madam, we suggested that the bill be redrafted, but the government has not redrafted the bill. These people who are speaking, they are all agents. Yes. They are all agents. That's why we have no objection to this bill, provided it is amended as suggested by the Standing Committee on Finance. We want all the chit funds paid. Now, there is not only chit fund in Bengal, there is chit fund in Punjab, there is chit fund in Odisha, East Coast. There are other chit funds. And here is an agent of notorious criminal. He is an agent who only won by 1100 votes. Madam, that's right. I protest against. Okay. Yes.
Madam Speaker, I thank you for allowing me to speak on the banning of unregulated deposit schemes bill 2018. This bill, as we know, seeks to prevent unregulated deposit-taking activities. It criminalizes soliciting, promoting, or accepting deposits that constitute an unregulated deposit scheme as a punishable offence. Madam Speaker, this Loksabha will be memorable for its stand against economic offenders. This particular bill goes in the same direction and is therefore as well welcome move. A prime component of the bill is the constitution of the competent authority, which has been entrusted with the power of a civil court in investigating matters of the irregular deposit activities. It is interesting to note that the state government has been given the task of appointing the competent authority. मजेदार इसलिए है कि ऐसे पहले बार हुआ है इस 16th लोकसभा में कि 7th शेड्यूल के नीचे जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की पावर्स है, they have been reflected in a piece of legislation. Madam Speaker, our party Telangana Rashtra Samiti has always encouraged entrepreneurship. Startups are the major reason why Telangana is one of the most booming economy in India. Telangana's youth drive our economic growth is upward of 18% growth rate per annum. As a result, I echo the recommendations of the Standing Committee of Finance report that vague definitions of the bill stand toward the financing of startups and deem crowding fund the finance as the illegal, madam. Thank you, madam.
1 minute only, don't run that. On karo. Yes. Madam, on behalf of our party, we support the bill. Just one small suggestion that Honorable Moily ji actually to support the bill. So I take this opportunity to congratulate Moily ji and the entire finance committee for bringing in this bill. I just hope no misuse of power is used against anybody, and it will be fair and in a transparent way the bill will be implemented, and all the few recommendations made by the standing committee I request to be implemented. I thank the Minister of Finance and I hope he will make sure it's flawlessly implemented in the country. Thank you. Farooq Abdullah ji, you want to speak? Farooq Abdullah, you change the seat. You change the seat. You go come here. Don't do that. Come here. You want to speak on this? Only 1 minute.
Madam, thank you for giving me this time. I am in the favor of this bill, but I would request, while this bill is the standing committee suggested some of the improvements in this bill, I would like the government to consider those issues, please, so that the bill can be complete in its totality. That would be wonderful for all of us. Thank you.
No, nothing. You should not. No, it's okay. 1 minute if you can, then only. Only 1 minute, not more than that. Premchandran ji.
I rise to support this bill. I rise to support this bill because this bill is protecting the interest of the small and medium investors and the depositors. And at the same time, when I am supporting the bill, I would like to make some points regarding the principles of natural justice has to be complied with before taking any punitive action. And also regarding the cooperative society and the cooperative bank, there are cardinal differences between the cooperative bank and the cooperative societies, and for which I have given notices of amendments for 14 amendment notices that may be taken into consideration. So the cooperative society and cooperative bank is entirely different, and also principles of natural justice has to be complied with, and the attachment of the assets of the person. Before that also these principles has to be complied with. This way, I thank you and I support.
Thank you.
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं इस बिल के पक्ष में आज खड़ा हुआ हूँ। इस सरकार से बीजेपी और कांग्रेस के कम्युनिस्ट साथियों ने जो बात कही, बड़ी हैरानी की बात है कि इस बिल को कहीं ना कहीं वेस्ट बंगाल तक सीमित कर हम रखने का काम करें। पिछले दिनों पर्ल की बात करें या अनेकों ऐसे छोटे छोटे चिटफंड कंपनी छोटे छोटे शहरों में आज शुरू हो रही है। क्या मुख्यमंत्री ये क्लियर करेंगे कि क्या छोटी कंपनीज को भी मॉनिटर करने के लिए जो सोसाइटी एक्ट के अंदर अपने आप को एस्टेब्लिश कर आज इंटरेस्ट के लालच में कंसोलिडेट कर उनसे पैसा लेकर भागने का काम करी है, क्या ये बिल के माध्यम से उन लोगों को भी कवर किया जाएगा और उसके साथ साथ जो पुलिस की कार्रवाई है इसको निष्पक्ष किस तौर पर किया जाएगा? क्या द्वेष भावना के साथ?
थैंक यू कौशलेंद्र कुमार।
मैं मंत्री जी को बधाई देता हूँ, उन्होंने बिल लाकर नया जमाना आएगा और लूटने वाला जेल जाएगा, ये मुझे भरोसा और विश्वास है। मैं तो कहूँगा मैडम कि जिस तरीके से बिहार में चोरों की सरकार को बदल करके उसी तरीके से यहाँ सारे चोर इकट्ठे हो रहे हैं, इस बिल के आने से गरीबों का पैसा अब लूटा नहीं जाएगा बल्कि लोगों के जेल में जाएगा। यही बात कहकर मैं अपनी बात को समाप्त करता हूँ।
महोदया, मैं इस बिल के पक्ष में हूँ क्योंकि यह एक ऐसा बिल है जिसमें बिहार के मिडिल और गरीब लोग ज्यादा प्रभावित हुए हैं ऐसे चिट फंड में, और मैं ये मानता हूँ कि जो भी चाहे वो इस चिट फंड का मामला हो चाहे और भी रेफेल का मामला हो, हमारे यहाँ सृजन घोटाला हुआ बिहार में जिसमें कई सांसद इन्वॉल्व है, कई मंत्री इन्वॉल्व है। सृजन घोटाले पर भी इसमें चर्चा होना चाहिए। यह जो बिल लाया गया है मंत्री जी के द्वारा, यह बहुत ही सही कदम है।
मोटा रेणुका जी, हो गया। Allow me only one minute. Madam Speaker, allow me to discuss on this. Yes. The bill is aimed at tackling the menace of deposit taking by loading the people with the offer of attractive returns. The case in point is AgriGold, Akshaya Gold schemes in Andhra Pradesh. People running such dubious schemes exploiting innocent people of their hard-earned savings. Though this enactment, deposit takers are banned from promoting, operating, issuing advertisements or accepting deposits in any unregulated deposit scheme. The bill also contains the penal provisions for attachment of properties for repayment to depositor where such money is raised illegally. Ma'am, the bill offers clarity on the nature of deposit schemes and classifies all deposit schemes. The proposed act also covers wrongful inducement in relation to unregulated.
So you are supporting it, no?
Ma'am, one last minute, ma'am. What I just wanted to suggest, these kind of things are going on in all over India. So the action is to be taken seriously. We will welcome this bill, but at the same time, the government also comes up with such schemes, so the people need not to go to the private where they can safeguard the money with the government with more secure manner. Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
And Speaker, I would like to thank all the honourable members, the 15 members from different parties that supported this bill. I'd like to express my gratefulness that there's still a heart in our members for the poor people for whom this government has been working for the last 5 years relentlessly. I thank all of you for your support. Batu Ariji, some other members, Jitendra Reddy ji, have flagged off some issues. I would like to mention that we have ensured, while amending the bill, that no loophole is there and somebody doesn't find a way. If we describe it too much in detail, the type of people will misuse it. Therefore, with great legal acumen, this has been drafted. However, if there are still any other suggestions, while framing the rules, we will ensure that there will be no possibility of misuse of any sort. Bharti Ariji talked about other than CBI. We have ensured that all this data is put into public domain and also that authorities can be designated who will study and take action even beyond CBI. But we have not left it only to the state, because you can see the situation here. If a particular state does not take action against such schemes, then the whole purpose of the bill will be defeated. Madam, before concluding, I just want to share one data. Between July 14 and May 18, in 4 years, 978 cases of unauthorized schemes, 978 केस ऐसी स्कीमों के स्टेट लेवल कोऑर्डिनेशन कमेटी में चर्चा हुए और उसमें से 326 केवल वेस्ट बंगाल में थे। 326, एक तिहाई से अधिक सिर्फ पश्चिम बंगाल में थे। इसीलिए सभी माननीय सांसदों की भावनाओं को व्यक्त करते हुए इस सरकार ने तेज गति से काम किया, इस पर रोक लगाने का काम किया और इस प्रकार से अड़चन डाल के अगर कोई लोग जैसे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी कहते हैं फिर एक बार इस बिल को लटकाना भटकाना अटकाने की कोशिश करे तो देश की जनता कभी सहन नहीं करेगी, इसका पूरा जवाब देगी। मैं तो हैरान हुआ, आज के बच्चे हमारे ऊपर सब बैठे हुए, आज स्कूल के बच्चे ये जो दृश्य देख रहे हैं इससे क्या मैसेज लेके जाएंगे और क्या पश्चिम बंगाल का संदेश इस देश को जाएगा, ये हम सबके लिए दुख की बात है और हमको आत्मचिंतन करने की बात है। प्रोफेसर सौगता रॉय ने जो बात कही, मैं तो हैरान था कि किसी के ऊपर माफिया डॉन ऐसा आरोप माननीय सांसद पर लगाना या कितने वोटों से कोई जीत के आया, ये यहाँ पे संबंधित नहीं है। एक जीता हुआ लोक प्रतिनिधि पे ऐसा आरोप, मुझे बड़ा दुख है कि हमारे कई साथियों ने यहाँ तक राजनीति का स्तर गिरा दिया। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ पुनः एक बार सबका धन्यवाद करता हूँ और आपका आशीर्वाद चाहता हूँ कि बिल पास हो जाए।
Please that the bill be taken into consideration. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. The motion for consideration of the bill is adopted. The House will now take up clause by clause consideration of the bill. The Minister to move amendment number 3.
I move amendment number 3.
The question is that amendment number 3 moved by Honorable Minister be adopted. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. The amendment is adopted. Premchandran ji, you are moving amendment?
Yes, madam, I am moving the amendment, the distinction between the bank and cooperative
The
society.
question is that amendment number 6 moved by Sri N.K. Premchandran be adopted. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the noes have it, amendment is negative. Question is that clause 2 as amended do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clause 2 as amended stands part of the bill. The question is that clauses 3 and 4 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clauses 3 and 4 stand part of the bill. The minister to move amendment number 4.
I move amendment number 4.
The question is that amendment number 4 moved by Honorable Minister be adopted. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The amendment is adopted. The question is that clause 5 as amended do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clause 5 as amended stands part of the bill. The question is that clauses 6 to 8 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clauses 6 to 8 stand part of the bill. Minister to move amendment number 5.
I move amendment number 5, madam.
The question is that amendment number 5 moved by Honorable Minister be adopted. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Amendment is adopted. Question is that clause 9 as amended do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clause 9 as amended stands part of the bill. Question is that clauses 10 to 12 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clauses 10 to 12 stand part of the bill. Premchandran moving.
Amendment, instead of scheduled bank, it should be national bank. And also reasonable opportunity.
The question is that amendment number 7 and 8 moved by Sri N.K. Premchandran be adopted. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the noes have it. The amendment is negative. Question is that clauses 13 and 14 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clauses 13 and 14 stands part of the bill. Premchandran ji, amendment number 9 and 10 moving.
Madam, 9 and 10 I am moving because it is for private side.
Amendment number 9 and 10 moved by Sri Premchandran be adopted. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think those have it. Amendments are negative. Question is that clauses 15 and 16 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clauses 15 and 16 stands part of the bill. Premchandran ji moving 11, 12, 13.
Yes, madam, I am moving all the amendments.
The question is that amendment number 11, 12, 13 moved by Sri Premchandran be adopted. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think noes have it. Amendments are negative. The question is that clause 17 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Aye to bolu. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clause 17 stands part of the bill. Premchandran move amendment number 14.
Yes, madam, this is the last amendment of the 16th Loksabha I am moving.
Question is that amendment number 14 moved by Sri Premchandran ji be adopted. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the noes have it. The amendment is negative. The question is that clauses 18 to 42 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clauses 18 to 42 stands part of the bill. The question is that first and second schedules do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. First and second schedule stands part of the bill. Minister to move amendment number 2.
I move amendment number 2, madam.
Question is that amendment number 2 moved by Honorable Minister be adopted. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The amendment is adopted. The question is that clause 1 as amended do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Clause 1 as amended stands part of it. Minister to move amendment number 1.
I move amendment number 1, madam.
The question is that amendment number 1 moved by Honorable Minister be adopted. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. Amendment is adopted. The question is that enacting formula as amended do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. Enacting formula as amended stands part of the bill. The question is that long titles do stand part of the bill. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. Long title stands part of the bill. सुदीप बैनर्जी क्या बोलना चाहते हैं?
Madam, we already supported the bill. There were some of our observations regarding this bill, but we have supported. But the question is, few such funds,
Yes.
Sahara and CCPL by names,
Yes.
these are not being properly investigated. This is our allegation
All
number
will
one.
be investigated.
These are to be taken care.
Okay.
Secondly, madam, West Bengal government has already passed more strong bill than this one.
Okay.
And that has been forwarded here. And madam, that has been forwarded here. I hope what Mamata Banerjee already passed a bill, that bill be taken for consideration also, and they be allowed to function. And madam, I propose the government, why the word chit fund will be allowed to be used? Why chit fund is a recognized name?
Okay.
Why any fund be projected as a chit fund in the country? And it is,
Yes,
and why not government should declare that the name chit fund itself is banned? People become confused. Those people never say that we are the chit fund donors. They come as regular businessmen. They come before us as regular businessmen. Nobody can detect that he has a chit fund business. So chit fund business as such to be nipped in the bud, it should be lifted from the base, and chit fund name should be abolished, and they should not be allowed to function in the name of chit fund in the country.
Yes.
I wanted...
Minister now move that the bill as amended.
Madam Speaker,
What is, it's okay.
Madam Speaker, I rise to move that the bill as amended be passed.
The question is that the bill as amended be passed. Those in favor may say aye. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. The motion is adopted and the bill as amended.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, मेरा अनुरोध है कि आइटम नंबर 45 जलियांवाला स्मारक बिल है। इस जलियांवाले घटना को लगभग 100 वर्ष पूरे हो रहे हैं। इस बार 100वीं जयंती बनाई जा रही है। ये महत्वपूर्ण है और बहुत छोटा बिल है। बहुत जल्दी बिना चर्चा के भी ये पास हो सकता है अगर सदन उदार हो। तो मेरा आग्रह है कि इसको लिया जाए, इसको पास किया जाए।
लेना है, ओके, लेना है तो लेना तो है ना, लेना है। You want to take it, no? ज्यादा चर्चा मत करो, एक हाथ कोई बोले और कर दो, ओके? Yes, मंत्री। Yes, Minister.
Madam, with your permission, I rise to move that the bill further to amend the Jallianwala Bagh National Memorial Act 1951 be taken into consideration. Madam,
after the bill now.
देश की आजादी के इतिहास में
After that you can.
13 अप्रैल देश की आजादी के इतिहास में 13 अप्रैल 1919 का दिवस एक काला दिवस के रूप में इतिहास के पन्नों में रहा और उस घटना को आगामी 13 अप्रैल 2019 में 100 वर्ष पूरे होने जा रहे हैं। भारत की तत्कालीन सरकार ने 1951 में एक एक्ट के माध्यम से हमारे देशवासियों ने, खासतौर कर अमृतसर के लोगों ने, निहत्थे लोगों ने जिस आजादी के आंदोलन में अपनी आहुति डाली और अपना जीवन त्याग दिया, ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट की हुकूमत ने अत्याचार किए
और सैकड़ों लोगों ने अपनी जानें गंवाई। उस 1951 के एक्ट में एक ट्रस्ट बनाया गया, उस घटना की यादगार युवा पीढ़ी के लिए बनी रहे, जिसमें नाम से श्री जवाहरलाल नेहरू, डॉक्टर सैफुद्दीन किचलू और मौलाना अब्दुल कलाम आजाद का नाम लिया गया कि जीवन पर्यंत ये लोग हमारे ट्रस्टी रहेंगे। 2006 में इसमें बदलाव लाया गया क्योंकि इन तीनों ही लोगों की मृत्यु हो चुकी थी, इसलिए बदलाव लाकर एक बदलाव ये लाया गया कि इनके जगह पर देश के प्रधानमंत्री इसके ट्रस्ट के चेयरमैन रहेंगे। और एक विसंगति जो रह गई इसमें, उन विसंगतियों को आज ये सरकार इस बिल के माध्यम से लाई है। विसंगति थी कि आजादी के बाद किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का मुखिया इस ट्रस्ट में, चाहे वो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी कोई भी हो, हम विश्व की सबसे बड़ी लोकतांत्रिक ताकत हैं, जहां हमने देश के प्रधानमंत्री, पंजाब के गवर्नर, पंजाब के चीफ मिनिस्टर और सरकार द्वारा नामित 3 नामों को उसमें लिया। लेकिन ये जो 3 विसंगतियां रही, पहली विसंगति थी कि लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन उसका सदस्य रहेगा। 2014 में एक ऐसी स्थिति आई कि 10% अंक भी कोई सरकार, कोई पार्टी प्राप्त नहीं कर पाई और लीडर अपोजिशन का पद जो था, उसके पर विसंगति को दूर करने के लिए भारत सरकार ये लाई है कि लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन की बजाय जो भी लार्जेस्ट पार्टी हो उसके नेता को यह जिम्मेदारी दी जाए। दूसरी विसंगति थी कि 5 वर्षों तक इन ट्रस्टियों का कार्यकाल दिया गया। 5 वर्षों तक कुछ ट्रस्टी नॉमिनेट किए गए, मैं नाम नहीं लूंगा, 3 ट्रस्टी लगे, लेकिन वो अपनी जिम्मेदारी पूरी तरह से उस ट्रस्ट में अगर किसी कारण से नहीं निभा पाए तो सरकार को यह हक नहीं था कि उनको बीच में से हटा सके। मैं ये इस माध्यम से लाना चाहता हूं कि सरकार को यह हक हो कि यदि कोई ट्रस्टी 5 साल में अपने कार्य को पूरा नहीं किसी कारण से कर पा रहा है, स्वास्थ्य के कारण या किसी और कारण से, तो सरकार को बीच में भी यह हक हो कि उसे हटाया जा सके। और तीसरी विसंगति, माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, किसी राजनीतिक पार्टी का अध्यक्ष उस ट्रस्ट के अंदर राजनीतिक पार्टी के अध्यक्ष के रूप में नहीं रहना चाहिए। अध्यक्ष राजनीतिक पार्टी का, जब हमने प्रधानमंत्री को ये जिम्मेदारी दी, गवर्नर को दी, मुख्यमंत्री को दी, तो आखिरकार इस राजनीतिक पार्टी के अध्यक्ष का रहना उचित नहीं है और इस क्लॉज को हमने डिलीट किया है। मेरा ख्याल है कि मैं माननीय सदस्यों से आह्वान करूंगा कि ये तीनों विषय, तीनों और सबने, हमने लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन का पद को सम्मान देते हुए हमने लार्जेस्ट पार्टी जो 10% संख्या भी नहीं प्राप्त कर पाई थी, उनके अध्यक्ष को भी, उनके नेता को भी इसमें डालने के लिए हम ये अमेंडमेंट लाए हैं। मैं समझता हूं राष्ट्र के हित में। और 2019 13 अप्रैल को भव्य रूप से भारत सरकार जलियांवाला बाग हत्याकांड के 100 साल मनाएगी 13 अप्रैल 2019 को, और बलिदान दिवस के रूप में मनाएगी, ताकि युवा पीढ़ी को ये ध्यान रहे कि हमारे देश के लाखों लोगों ने अपने जीवन आहुति की है। मैं अपील करता हूं माननीय सदस्यों से, माननीय सदन से, इस बिल को पास किया जाए।
We are all facing in 2 months' time the centenary of this absolute horror, when in cold blood, somewhere between 379 and 2,000 people were mown down by General Dyer and his troops. And it was a cold-blooded imposition of colonial will, Madam Speaker. This was not heat and dust. No one was using violence. These were unarmed men, women and children. They were shot down. This was a great national tragedy, and the fact is, it reflected a number of betrayals. The betrayal of the support given by India to the British during the First World War, the betrayal of the promises made of dominion status to our country, the betrayal also of the moral compact that binds those who rule and those who are ruled. It was an act of wanton cruelty. It was a great tragedy in which innocent blood was spilled. And the fact is, Madam, that at that time, I do want to stress, at that time, those British who were ruling the country tried to brush the sin under the carpet. They actually tried, Madam Speaker, to exonerate General Dyer for his wrongdoing. And when the House of Lords had actually passed a resolution supporting him, it actually took a British newspaper to conduct a campaign to raise money to reward him. And he was given £26,000, almost the equivalent of £250,000 today, with a bejeweled sword to honor him for killing Indians. So there is no question in our mind, this is a national atrocity. It made Indians out of many who had not seen themselves as Indians. Sir Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood in protest. It was a major national calamity. I feel very sad, Mr. Deputy Chairman, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that we are looking at a politicization by the ruling party of this great tragic event in our national history. This should have been in time where the House should stand up unanimously and demand an apology from the British. On the centenary on 13th of April 2019, that's what we should have been demanding, not taking petty action to remove the leader of the Indian National Congress from the trust. Let me explain, Mr. Speaker, what the background of this was. It was the Congress that set up its own investigation because the British were trying to whitewash the crime. Jawaharlal Nehru personally went to Jallianwala Bagh, counted all the bullet holes. There was a detailed report given, and in that report, the Congress party laid out the nature of this horrible cover-up the British were trying to do. It was the Congress party as the nationalist movement that provided relief to the wounded, the dying, the helpless who were given assistance by us. In December 1919, we had a Congress annual session in Amritsar, presided by Pandit Motilal Nehru, where it was decided that the party should acquire the Jallianwala Bagh in order to build a national memorial. The British tried to block it. They tried to put other things in that site. But in fact, a resolution moved by Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, whom this government has honored with the Bharat Ratna, he passed a resolution saying the Congress party should take over this site. It was passed on 27 December 1919. And let me quote the words of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. He said, "We have decided to raise the memorial, not with any narrow motive, not to keep alive the dark deeds of General Dyer. We want it to be a memorial to the Hindu-Muslim unity that has sprung out of the intermingling of Hindu and Muslim blood on that field of carnage." Quote unquote from Bharat Ratna Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. The Congress intended this monument to be a symbol of unity in our country, of Hindu-Muslim unity, something which sadly this present government does not value. A special committee of the Congress was appointed with leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, Lala Lajpat Rai, many others, and they acquired the land. It was an extremely difficult process. The British actually tried to even set up a cloth market on the site in order to prevent the Congress from doing this. Mahatma Gandhi made an appeal to the nation to donate funds to the Congress for this purpose. And as a result, can you imagine in 1919, 1920, 10 lakhs of rupees, that is like 10 crores today, were raised by the Congress party for this purpose. 10 lakhs of rupees in 1919 is an astonishing sum of money. Yet it was mobilized by the party because of its faith in the values that we sought to memorialize. A trust was established to oversee the development and maintenance of the memorial. And by 1951, Jawaharlal Nehru was the last living member of that trust. That is why the Congress party decided to establish instead a statutory trust to oversee the site. And it was Dr. Ambedkar, whom this government pays lip service to, who actually moved the resolution, moved the bill in the Loksabha on the 21st of April 1951 to convert the trust into a national statutory trust. In that bill, he designated the President of the Indian National Congress as an ex-officio trustee. Why did he do that? Because the Congress party had bought the land. The Congress party had established the trust. The Congress party had roused the conscience of the nation on what had happened in Jallianwala Bagh. Therefore, because of the intimate connection between the Congress and the memorial, as Pandit Nehru himself said in the debates in Parliament at that time, that's the only reason that the Congress party president was placed as an ex-officio trustee. For the BJP to have a minister stand up here and demean this proud history of our nationalist movement by saying that it is merely the actions of a particular political party, to my mind, this shows the mentality of those who are sitting in power today, Mr. Deputy Speaker. We are facing a government that does not respect the sacrifices of our heroes, that does not respect nationalism. Let me say, in fact, in 2003, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Culture, under the chairmanship of a senior CPM leader, Shri Nilotpal Basu, presented a report on this very subject to this very House. And in that report he says, quote, "The composition of the Jallianwala Bagh National Memorial Trust, as prescribed in the Parent Act, was in order, and the inclusion of the President of the Indian National Congress was in keeping with the contribution of the Indian National Congress and the freedom movement in general, and the glorious struggle which led to the Jallianwala Bagh incident in particular." Yes. This was the level of non-partisanship that existed in our politics. Even our political opponents had the maturity to recognize the role played by the Congress Party in the freedom struggle. Today, this government is trying to deny that history with this bill by removing the Congress President from the trust. What a shame it is, Mr. Deputy Speaker. What is the heritage of those who want to deny our history? The parent body of this party, the RSS, the San Parivar, they have a shameless past in genuflecting before the British. The man whose portrait they've hung in Parliament, Mr. Savarkar, wrote 11 letters of apologies to the British. There are memos of the British Raj which said that the sun kept itself within the colonial law, refused to participate in the Quit India movement. Did you participate in the Quit India movement? You opposed even the Constitution of India, and now you are trying to deny the role of our freedom struggle. You are betraying our nationalism. Let me say to you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the bill is worse than that. It also gives the right to remove any trustee without assigning any reason. Right. Why is this government fearing accountability? Why do they want to control a trust? Why is it that they can change a nominated trustee based on political reasons and pack this glorious memorial of Hindu-Muslim unity with Hindutva ideologues and government stooges? You know, sir, that they have packed people of a certain ideology into the Nehru Memorial Library, into the Indian Center for Cultural Research, in the Indian Council of Cultural Research. In this situation, Mr. Speaker, we have to, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we have to say this government is betraying India. They may think they are advancing the political interests of their party. They are betraying India. They're betraying the history of our country. And I must say that this is the same government under which the Sound and Light show in the memorial has been stopped because they have not been getting enough money. They have not given enough money to the memorial. How much money had you given to maintain this memorial that you now want to change the trustees? Mr. Minister, you have to explain, please, where under the Kala Sanskriti Vikas Yojana, where you allot a lot of money to art, culture and other related activities, have you given 1 paise for the Jallianwala Bagh memorial? How can you say now, having reduced this budget, having cancelled the light and sound show, the Sonne Lumiere show, which people came from around the world to see, how can you claim to be defending Jallianwala Bagh? In 2 months' time, it's a centenary. This should be a time for national unity. We should all stand up, remembering the evil atrocities of the colonial empire. We should say we fought for our freedom. We are Indians first. We are not BJP. There was no BJP blood spilled on the ground of Jallianwala Bagh. It was Indian blood. And I want to say to you all, you are spending years reinventing the past. You are mythologizing history. You are trying to erase lies. And I do want to say, you have not even put a single paise into the budget. How can you plan a 100-year centenary when you have not even planned to memorialize such a major occasion? I request the government speaker to please withdraw this bill. Withdraw this bill. Please repent that you ever had such an unworthy thought. Do not expect the members of this House who believe in the unity of India to stand for your divisive politics. You are trying to erase our history. You are trying to pack our institutions with right-wing ideologues. You are neglecting the sites of our heritage. You are not giving money for the cause of our own history and our own memory. Do not demolish the secular fabric of our country. Do not destroy the pluralism that is at the heart and soul of India. We will fight for the future.
धन्यवाद उपाध्यक्ष महोदय। ये चोरी और सीना चोरी का कितना बड़ा उदाहरण है, ये कांग्रेस पार्टी से पूरा देश समझ सकता है। महात्मा गांधी की 150वीं जयंती और इस जलियांवाला बाग कांड का 100वां जयंती जो है, ये इस साल है 2019 में। भारत सरकार स्वच्छता के माध्यम से महात्मा गांधी की भी जयंती मनाना चाह रही है और इस बिल के माध्यम से वो 100 साल जो जलियांवाला बाग कांड हुआ था और इतना विभत्स कांड हुआ था, इतनी बड़ी घटना हुई थी,
तो मुझे लगा कि महात्मा गांधी के बारे में जब पढ़ने को मिलता था कि महात्मा गांधी ने जब भारत आजाद हो गया तो उन्होंने एक बात कहा कि इस कांग्रेस को डिसमेंटल कर देना चाहिए, कांग्रेस पार्टी खत्म कर देना चाहिए। और आज जो इस तरह की तकरीर कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता ने दी तो मुझे लगा कि महात्मा गांधी सही थे और उनकी बात को कांग्रेस पार्टी ने नहीं मानकर बहुत भारी भूल की है। आप यह समझें कि ये मदन मोहन मालवीय जी को कोट कर रहे थे। मैं भी देख रहा था पूना पैक्ट जब हुआ तो पूना पैक्ट के पहले महात्मा गांधी और अंबेडकर जी के समझौते के पहले जब रिजर्वेशन के ऊपर लड़ाई चल रही थी तो एक समझौता हुआ था मदन मोहन मालवीय जी और डॉक्टर अंबेडकर के बीच में। और उसमें उन्होंने मदन मोहन मालवीय जी ने कहा था कि आजादी का जो इतिहास है वो इतिहास हम लोगों को कभी माफ नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि कांग्रेस पार्टी के अंदर जो शक्तियां हैं वो शक्तियां भारत के विभाजन की तरफ बढ़ रही है और इसी के लिए हमको रिजर्वेशन देना चाहिए। और अंबेडकर और मदन मोहन मालवीय के बीच में इस तरह की बात हुई। आज आप समझे कि इस तरह की जिसने कि भारत का विभाजन किया। मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि पूना पैक्ट के पहले जो मदन मोहन मालवीय जी ने कहा वो बात सही हुई कि इन लोगों ने हिंदू और मुसलमान के नाम पर इस देश का बंटवारा कर दिया और वो बंटवारा की जो ताकत है वो आज इस तरह के मोन्यूमेंट को छीनने के लिए तैयार है। आप अध्यक्ष जी ये कल्पना कर सकते हैं कि बाप बेटा पंच और बरदा का नाम 10 आना। हमारे यहाँ कहावत है यदि बाप और बेटा पंच हो, आप ये समझ सकते हैं कि ये जो जलियांवाला बाग है, आप यदि मानना चाहते हैं तो अभी आरएसएस के बारे में कहा। आपके जो हमेशा वक्ता बोलते हैं उनको इतिहास के बारे में मुझे लगता है कि कुछ नहीं पता, केवल अच्छी अंग्रेजी बोल देते हैं, चले जाते हैं। डॉक्टर जो हमारे हेडगेवार थे जिन्होंने राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ की स्थापना की, आपको पता है कि वो कांग्रेस के सदस्य थे? आपको पता है कि कांग्रेस सेवा दल बनाने में उनका सबसे बड़ा योगदान था? आप लोग बार बार जो आरएसएस को गाली देते हो, आपको डॉक्टर हेडगेवार के इतिहास के बारे में पता है? आपको यह पता है कि जब चाइना के साथ भारत का लड़ाई हुआ तो 1964-63 एक ऐसा साल था जब राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ को आपके उस वक्त के प्रधानमंत्री जवाहरलाल नेहरू ने इंडिया गेट के परेड पर जो है राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ के लोगों को उन्होंने भाग लेने के लिए बुलाया था 26 जनवरी को। क्या आपको पता है? आप लोगों को इतिहास से कुछ नहीं पता है। आपको एक फैमिली को प्रोटेक्ट करना है। गांधी फैमिली आपके लिए काबा है, काशी है, मक्का है, मदीना है और उसके लिए आप कुछ भी करने को तैयार हो। भारत सरकार जो ये बिल लेकर आई है ये इतना अच्छा बिल है। मैं आपको बताऊं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी जिसका अस्तित्व नहीं बचा, कांग्रेस पार्टी जिसको लीडर ऑफ द अपोजिशन नहीं हो रहा है, तो कांग्रेस पार्टी की अध्यक्षा आज मान लीजिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार है तो क्या सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन को हम अपने कैमरे में कैद कर लेंगे? क्या हम अपने यहाँ बंधक बना लेंगे? सारा राजीव गांधी के नाम से, इंदिरा गांधी के नाम से, जवाहरलाल नेहरू के नाम से, मोतीलाल नेहरू के नाम से, कभी आप सोनिया जी के नाम से, राहुल जी के नाम से, ये देश इसी गुलामी की मानसिकता के लिए स्वतंत्र हुआ है। केवल एक पार्टी का ही आदमी अध्यक्ष होगा, एक ही परिवार का आदमी अध्यक्ष होगा। आप ये बता दीजिए कि इंदिरा जी के बाद राजीव जी के बाद सोनिया जी के बाद राहुल जी के बाद प्रियंका जी, हो सकता है उनका बेटा अध्यक्ष हो जाए और एक पार्टी का आदमी अध्यक्ष होके इस ट्रस्ट पर ट्रस्टी होना चाहता है। इसलिए मैं भारत सरकार को बधाई देना चाहता हूं कि आप एक बहुत अच्छा बिल लेकर आए हैं। आप देश को यह बतलाने आए हैं कि कांग्रेस ने किस तरह से सारे संस्थाओं का नुकसान किया, नाश किया और इस कारण से जिस देश में जिसका कि अध्यक्ष इस प्रधानमंत्री जी होंगे, जिसमें मेंबर जो है सेक्रेटरी कल्चर होंगे, मेंबर चीफ मिनिस्टर होंगे, मेंबर गवर्नर होंगे, 3 ऐसे नॉमिनेटेड मेंबर होंगे जो केंद्र सरकार उनको नॉमिनेट करेगी। कोई इमिनेंट लोग होंगे जिनको कि जलियांवाला बाग कांड के प्रति इमोशन होगा। जो मरे होंगे उसमें हिंदू भी मरे, उसमें मुसलमान भी मरे, उसमें आरएसएस के भी लोग मिले, जनसंघ के भी लोग मरे। सिख ने इतनी बड़ी बदनामी दी है, बलिदान दिया है। और मैं आपको बताऊं कि आपके कारण 2 ऐसे राज्य थे उस वक्त जो आजादी के मूवमेंट में सबसे ज्यादा योगदान कर रहे थे। एक बंगाल था जिसका आपने ईस्ट बंगाल और वेस्ट बंगाल के नाम पर बंटवारा कर दिया, आज वो देश बट गया, एक बांग्लादेश हो गया, एक हम हिंदुस्तान में रह गए। उसी तरह पंजाब के साथ, पंजाबियों के साथ आपने बहुत बड़ा अन्याय किया। उस वक्त आपने माना इस चीज को और इस कारण से पूर्वी पंजाब और पश्चिमी पंजाब हो गया, जिसके कारण कि पाकिस्तान बन गया, हिंदुस्तान बन गया। और मैं आपको बताऊं कि यदि आपको नहीं पता है तो रावी तट पर लाहौर में जो रिजोल्यूशन हुआ था, उस रिजोल्यूशन में यह कहा गया था कि हम जलियांवाला बाग कांड के प्रति नॉन पार्टीजन अपना विषय रखेंगे करो या मरो का नारा दिया था, आजादी का नारा दिया था। कम से कम उस नारे को याद रखिए। कांग्रेस पार्टी से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा और सरकार जो बिल लेकर आई है उसका समर्थन करिए, अपने पार्टी के अध्यक्ष को निकाल बाहर करिए और इस देश का कल्याण करिए। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ जय हिंद जय भारत।
Deputy Speaker, sir, I rise today to speak as a historian and a humble, ordinary citizen of India. We have to rise above party in order to honor the martyrs of Jallianwala Bagh, the innocent men, women and children who were gunned down in Amritsar nearly 100 years ago on 13th April of 1919. It was, of course, General Reginald Dyer's orders that were obeyed by the soldiers who had their fingers on the triggers. But there was also a British governor, Michael O'Dwyer, who was holding festivities in Lahore in preparation for his departure from India. Curfew was imposed, crawling orders were given. There was a place in Gujranwala that was strafed from the air. What we need to remember today is that the blood of Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs mingled in the earth of Jallianwala Bagh. And that is the unity of all religious communities that we must strive for today. Who were the leaders of the Punjab who were leading the movement, the Satyagraha, in 1919? On the one hand, there was Dr. Satyapal. On the other hand, there was Saifuddin Kichlu. And the committee that had been established by the Indian National Congress was chaired by none other than Madan Mohan Malviya, and the committee included Motilal Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi. And we know that our great poet, Rabindranath Tagore, renounced his knighthood when he heard of this awful tragedy. He did not wish to wear any badge of honor that had been given by the satanic government, the British government of 1919. The Satyagraha that was being conducted was a campaign against a lawless law, the Rowlatt Act, which would have enabled the British to hold Indians in prison without charge, without trial, in peacetime. They were trying to have wartime ordinances turned into a peacetime legislation. The people of India resisted, and the Amritsar massacre marked the final psychological alienation between the British colonizers and the Indian people who had been colonized. I would also like to add that there was an aftermath of the great Amritsar tragedy. Our revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh and Udham Singh were products of the tragedy that took place on the 13th of April of 1919. And 10 years after 1919, Bhagat Singh and his comrades were in Lahore jail, and there was a hunger strike by political prisoners. And the British tried in the Central Legislative Assembly here to pass another lawless law. They tried to say that these prisoners would be tried in absentia because they could not be brought to court. And our great nationalist leaders of that time opposed that move resolutely. Right. And again, as someone from Bengal, I would like to mention that of the hunger striking prisoners, Jatin Das died after 2 months of being on fast and went 64 days, as Shogata Babu has been saying. Now, when the body of Jatin Das was brought from Lahore to Kolkata, it was none other than Subhash Chandra Bose who presided over the funeral. And he came back to his home with the Asthi of Jatin Das and asked his sister-in-law Vibhavati to preserve these immortal remains of our great revolutionary with care. And finally, Deputy Speaker, sir, I would also like to mention another historical fact. In 1943, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose traveled by submarine from Europe to Asia. He started his journey on the 8th, 9th of February. And he knew that he would be on a submarine for nearly 3 months. And therefore, he had left a broadcast, recorded broadcast, that went on the air on the 13th of April of 1943 in order to pay tribute to the martyrs of the Amritsar massacre. So I would appeal to this government that please do not bring a divisive bill on this particular issue. Let us all join together and unitedly honor the memory of those who fell 100 years ago on the 13th of April of 1919. Let us leave all party bickering behind us and let us all together say that we will strive for the unity of all of the religious communities of India, and let us bow our heads in memory of the martyrs of Amritsar. Jai Hind.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir. Some years ago, I had visited the Golden Temple, and my children were very much interested also to pay a visit to that soil, that place, Jallianwala Bagh. I had read about it since I was in my primary school. There was a chapter. And in Odisha, cutting across party line, we still celebrate from 6th of April till 13th of April, those 8 days, as National Day. This is something which is being observed for more than 100 years. Whatever programs, agitations were conducted during the colonial period by the Congress Party, invariably it covered these 8 days. Be it the Dandi Yatra, be it subsequently the resolution that was passed in Wardha to go in for Quit India movement, all this was done during these 8 days, which is termed as a national week. I'm just narrating the impression which my children had when they visited Jallianwala Bagh. Is this the passage through which General Dyer guided the army into this field, into this Maidan? Aren't there any other way to run out when large number of people who had gathered here? How many of them could have climbed those walls? How many of them got drowned in that well? How many of them could have saved themselves where there was just a small mosque where Islamists or Mohammedans used to pray? It was all inside that Maidan. It is still there in the Maidan. And while going through which is still today in a very shabby way, the museum that has been put forth by the so-called trust. The photographs have already become very yellow, and I tried to, and I've asked my children also to read through, because you are here in that sacred soil. It was not displayed in a very proper manner. The day when it was really displayed might have been very great, but it has not been. It is not being looked after as it should have been. And there, as Sugata Babu mentioned about two individuals, Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu. Dr. Satyapal, in today's world, today's age, will say he's a Hindu. And Saifuddin Kichlu was a Kashmiri. He was more famous in Amritsar, being a medicine practitioner. It was on 6th of April, it was not 13th of April alone. On 6th of April, Gandhiji had declared that we will non-cooperate with the British government. I was waiting for this bill to come up with bated breath. Because yesterday when I suggested, when the House was going to rise, I heard from one of my colleagues, this bill is something which needs to be opposed. I'm really thankful to the government and also to the minister that you have got this bill and this House is discussing today. There is nothing to debate on this bill except one. But I would say, before coming to that, on 6th evening, on 6th, Gandhiji was traveling from Bombay to reach Amritsar by a train. He was not allowed to enter Punjab province. He was arrested just before the train was supposed to cross the Punjab border. And he was brought to Delhi. This information could not reach Amritsar, which had already declared that on 6th of April, we will be observing a grand meeting in the presence of Mahatma Gandhi. And this was in 1919. And on that day, Mr. Satyapal and Dr. Kichlu addressed the gathering. Martial law was imposed. Subsequently, on 7th morning, curfew was imposed. And I was trying to find out which is that street where some people, some boys, might have thrown some stones on the British forces. And there, the Lieutenant Governor had declared, whoever will be crossing this street has to be on their, has to prostrate and go. They have to cross. For more than 8 days, the people were not allowed to come out from their house. And the sanitation aspect was the casualty. There were ladies who were supposed to be taken to the hospital for delivery. There were a large number of people who were suffering. The amount of suffering one can even today read from a book written by Keshwar Desai, The True Story of Jallianwala Bagh, which has very recently been published. Large number of people, and Sugata Babu also very rightly mentioned about Gujranwala. There was also another place where large number of non-cooperation movement was also in full swing, where helicopters were used, aeroplanes were used, machine guns were used to verify the people, and they were butchered. This was a place where large number of people perished. I have read from documents, boys who are hardly 11 years old, 7 years old, they were also killed. Limbs were amputated for more than 1 month or so after the 13th April massacre. Not a single body was allowed to be taken out, to be cremated, be it a Muslim or a Hindu or a Sikh. Requests were made before the government at Lahore that allow us. Sir,
many members to speak, please try to be brief. Last day.
I understand, sir. I understand, sir. And that is the place, that is the reason why Gandhiji gave out that violence is evil. And he termed that government, the British government, as Saitani Sarkar. And he went round the country saying, ये सरकार को हटाना है, ये शैतान सरकार बैठा है, British सरकार को. And we should also remember those leaders who raised it in the British Parliament. It was after, and a report was manufactured sitting in Lahore. What has actually happened and how the people were at fault by disobeying the martial law. It was after 6 months, the Gandhiji, who was part of that fact-finding committee, to visit that place. And they met large number of people in and around Lahore and also Amritsar. And a document was placed before the nation to find out. That is why the figures vary. Is it 276 people who laid down their lives in Jallianwala Bagh, or it was more than 3,000 people who were killed, because many of them were not identified, because many of the people who were killed in Jallianwala Bagh had come to pay their obeisance to the Golden Temple, because that was the preparation for Baisakhi. That's why large number of people from rural area had congregated, because that is the open space nearest to the Golden Temple. This is the manner in which a satanic government was played with blood of Indians. Deputy Speaker, sir, I would say here that it was the onus on the then Congress party, subsequently the first government which came into being after independence, to form a memorial. And quite rightly so. Dr. Ambedkar moved that resolution as the law minister. But as I understand little about civil law, when the trustees pass away without bequeathing the property to subsequent trustees, that property becomes an estate property. But here is a case, because ultimately the estate property will be vesting with the government. But here is a case, because during that period, as many lawyers were part of the struggle for independence, they said, make it the property of the Congress. Or form a society where Congress leaders will be heading that property or society. And that is the way, in 1951, a trust, memorial trust, was created. But now, amendments have come. Amendments have come, and I fully endorse the amendments that are there, with the Prime Minister as the head of the trust. But I have one objection. And that objection is in the proviso of clause 5. And that proviso says, before the expiry of the period of 5 years by the central government, without assigning any reason. You are having a trust as the Prime Minister who is heading that trust, and you give power to the government to assigning, to just to remove the trust or the trustees without assigning any reason. This actually is something you are belittling the office of the Prime Minister. This is not required. you have added leader of opposition or leader of the largest party in opposition in the trust. That is a welcome step, which was not comprehended when the Lokpal bill was being moved in this in this house. But why have this provision today? Prime Minister is Prime Minister when he is heading one of the national monuments today. Why should you give a power to the bureaucracy or to the government that trustees nominated under Clause F, Section 1 of the 4 may be terminated before the expiry of the period of 5 years? This clearly says that those trustees, meaning the eminent persons within court which you have mentioned, eminent persons can be removed without assigning any cause or reason. This does not, it is not natural justice. It is not natural justice. I think as we will be in the midst of election campaign during that period. And I'm not aware when the first date of election will be, but probably it will be between 6th and 13th of April. We all will be celebrating that those National Week from 6th to 13th of April in a grand way. But I think there will be larger number of people who will be observing this National Week from 6th of April to 13th of April. I would just conclude my speech here. The massacre of Jallianwala Bagh reverberated in Odisha. Utkarmani Gopabandhu Das, who brought the nationalist fervor to Odisha, as Bhagirath brought Ganga to Bharat. That's how the nationalist fervor came to Odisha. And he dedicated his whole institution to the cause of Lala Lajpat Rai, to the servants of People's Society. So in every way, this Jallianwala Bagh had an impact on everybody's mind. Even today, when I look at my son and my daughter, when I discuss about Jallianwala Bagh, tears come into their eyes. What type of sacrifice these people had made? What would have happened to the mother and to the father who lost their 11-year child, and to a 7-year-old boy whose arm was amputated because he had an injury, a bullet injury in his hand. And those amputations were done in a very crude way inside their house. Those who were injured could not be taken to the hospital for treatment. That was the pathetic situation which Punjab went through. This whole nation bows its head in memory of those martyrs. And while moving this bill, I would request the Minister to...
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I have to report that Rajya Sabha has returned the Personal Laws Amendment Bill 2019 as passed by Lok Sabha with amendments. I have also to report that Rajya Sabha has passed the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order 3rd Amendment Bill 2019. Sir, I lay on the table the Personal Laws Amendment Bill 2019 as passed by Lok Sabha and returned by Rajya Sabha with amendments, and the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order 3rd Amendment Bill 2019 as passed by Rajya Sabha on the 13th February 2019.
Srimati Arshram Kaur. Minister, she wants to speak. Then afterwards I'll call you.
Thank you, sir. So we all just heard the very emotional words by my colleague, Shri Mehtab. And I think as we rise over here to discuss the amendment on the massacre of the Jallianwala Bagh, being a Punjabi and a Sikh, I don't think any Sikh should be welcoming it with more open arms than what is being done by my community and my party today. So I would like to bring to the August House notice, because many intellectual people, including from the various parties, said a lot of things. But I would like to say over here that 13th of April is the founding day of the Khalsa Panth of my community. सिख कौम के खालसा पंथ का सिरजना दिवस है 13th April, जिसके लिए these people had gathered over there. Baisakhi is a day when our religion came into existence. It's the day our great Guru Gobind Singh, our father, made the Sikhs into an identity. It is on this historic day, on the 13th of April, that members of the Sikh community had congregated over here before going and after going to pay obeisance at the Gurdwara, at the Golden Temple.